Money. I bet you can't have too much. But the screw is not only tired, but also see the face of the supervisor. But now there are ways to make money. Imagine fishing with a pole in the ocean. A 2-meter-long tuna weighing 177 kilograms. If the fish is good quality, that would be a lot of money in the hands of those double dealers. They sell for tens of thousands of dollars. If you still think this is a small profit, then take a look down and you'll be thrilled. Today, the hard commodity welcomes old Captain Marsha, but he returned with a new plan, only responsible for steering the boat, no longer involved in tuna fishing decisions. Seems to be getting used to being at home these days. Back to tuna fishing, still want to be lazy. Lazy to the extreme. Dave, captain of the tuna net. I'm not happy about Marsha's return. Marsha misled him and others too often last season. Claims tuna's out there somewhere. Caused them to fail repeatedly, though he's not spreading any more news at the moment. But it might mean they've found the perfect fishing spot. There must be plenty of tuna there, intended to keep the location secret. As the crowd arrived at the predetermined fishing spot, Dave began to set up mackerel bait, only to be released soon after. The detector sounded a tone. Looks like this is a real treasure trove. I just don't know how big this fish is. Suddenly the rod bent. The three men quickly went to work. Yet Sandro sensed in the tug. The underwater object appeared to be a shark. Why wasn't the first fish tuna? Sure enough, there was a tail sticking out of the water. It was a thresher shark that took the bait. It's a waste of time, just as they are feeling. There was movement on the other rod. Jody quickly began to retrieve the fishing line. But after a while, he finds it's another fucking shark, and it looks like the same one. It's frustrating that this fish is a little greedy. He swallowed 2 of their bait in quick succession. Dave was so angry, he almost wanted to jump into the sea and punch it. Captain Bob, a fat tuna, when he spotted a whale ahead. The detectors beeped in sync. Hey, isn't this a God-given opportunity? The 3 men immediately stood on the deck. Wait for the tuna to bite. But the wait seems a little long. They hung around the boat for half a day. Fortunately, the tuna finally gave face. He took the bait. Manny held the rod behind him. Something doesn't feel right about this tuna. Its escape is exactly like that of a shark. That's not possible. That's the 3rd shark bite today. Suddenly the line jerked straight forward. Right? That's how tuna should run. Learn how sharks fight back. Bob sees Manny doing nothing. I just grabbed the job. Fishing time has reached 40 minutes. John came on. 3 people in a short period of time. Is this tuna really that good? But John had it easy. The tuna began to float to the surface. Looks like John's the only reliable guy on this ship. I saw tuna come to the surface. Manny quickly picked up the harpoon. Take the position you had before the attack. He plunged down. Bob, with his harpoon in hand, fired another shot. Looks like Manny's been a bit of a screw-up. Has quietly become his subconscious. After pulling the tuna to the boat, Bob tied the rope at once. No, that's not the way you celebrate. It makes me feel like there's something special about you. As the tuna cools down, he was pulled into the boat. The fish was measured to be 2 meters long. It's a nice big fish. The fat tuna arrived in port at nightfall. Starts selling the catch. I just don't know what the quality of this fish is. After cutting off the useless parts, the tuna is still 282 pounds, 127 kilograms. The next step is a quality check. The fish is bright with a hint of fat. The cherry red core stands out. Overall, the quality is quite good. Can give a unit price of $18. Earn them $5,076. If we keep catching tuna like this, they might win the championship. A few people on the hard goods number. After learning that the fat tuna was on board, it's hard not to feel a little lost. Why is nothing happening on your side? Time flies on a new day, arriving in Chatham again. But the trip is not cheap. If I don't catch another fish today, that 11th tuna money, I'm afraid we're going to spend it all. Then the detector made a noise. It looks like 5 fish appear. As soon as the rod bent, Jack stepped forward to control it and moved the pole to the bow. This is the only place on this little boat where you can play. Nick found it when he was pulling tuna. A ship appeared ahead. Good thing it's not coming this way. He just walks away. When it was safe, Nick let go of the tuna. Let the fish burn off some energy first. As the tuna slows down, Nick began to retrieve the fishing line. Fishing time has reached 50 minutes. Tuna are also slowly coming to the surface. Jack immediately stepped forward and picked up the harpoon. Suddenly, the sharp harpoon pierces the tuna. Nick quickly picked up a harpoon and fixed it. After successfully controlling this big fish, Jack ties up the tuna skillfully. On the occasion of the 12th tuna catch, the two men couldn't wait to pull aboard. The fish measured 2.5 meters in length. It seems that they will win the first place. Captain Marsha of the hard commodity decided to replace the current fishing point. This surprised Jason. What happened to not interfering in fishing decisions? Besides, we once caught 4 tuna here. Marsha explained that you were young. I still have more experience in this area. With nothing to show for half a day, you got to get around. There was nothing they could do. Marsha is Joe's father, Jason's own uncle. Just as they were about to retrieve the fishing line, there was a sudden movement in the probe. The fishing rod is also noticeably bent. This is undoubtedly a satire on Marsha. It seems that sometimes experience is not reliable. Luck is also crucial. While Jason was collecting the fishing line, it turned out to be a shark. Why are you messing with me at this critical moment? He was so angry that he almost spoke dirty words. And it's one of those motherfucking dirty words. By this time, Jack had returned to port. Start selling this tuna that's supposed to win. But you never know. If the fish is of poor quality, it's worthless. The final fish weighed 391 pounds and 177 kilograms. The fish tail is brightly colored. The core is cherry colored. The fat is as fine as butter. Overall, this fish is perfect. Undoubtedly the highest quality tuna. It's on a market for $22 a pound, making these two young men $8,602. They look like a lock to win the title this season. Captain Spotty of the Moonshine. I don't think the position I've chosen today is ideal. Surrounded by other fishing boats. It may not be easy to catch tuna. Even if a fish bites, you need to watch out for other ships when you're fighting. Suddenly, their rod's bent. Oh my God, the tuna is making a surprise attack. But it doesn't matter to them. Several people then seriously into the work. I wonder if Vaughn can catch the fish. After all, it's the key to getting them home. If this tuna is not caught, they will continue to drift on the sea. Half an hour past fishing time. Ryan took over Vaughn's job. He is very experienced. Only 10 minutes of fighting. They pull the tuna to the surface. Then suddenly a ship appeared in the rear and watched as if watching a play. After a few words of scolding from 3 people, the ship hurried away. The tuna took the opportunity to swim some distance. This guy is so smart. Ryan kept busy for some time. The tuna resurfaced. Vaughn quickly picked up the harpoon nearby, put it right up there. After skillfully tying the rope, they finally caught the fish. Got Monet back home. It cooled the tuna for a while. They pulled him on board. The tuna was measured to be 2.5 meters long. They arrived at the port 3 hours later. Start selling the catch. After cutting off the useless parts, the fish weighed 381 pounds and 172 kilograms. Next comes the quality check of the fish. The core has a beautiful cherry red color. The fat is evenly distributed around the perimeter. The appearance and texture of this fish are quite outstanding. The market price can reach $17 a pound. That means they earn $6,477. 4:00 the next morning, the Windmill traveled 64 kilometers, arriving at a whole new fishing spot. They hope to catch tuna here, but it is not clear that this was a wise decision. As he begins to lay out mackerel bait, just drop the second fish. The fishing rod in front is bent. I don't think your detector's on. The fish appeared without warning. While Tyler was fighting his way up on deck, Marissa dressed quickly too. Walk over to Tyler and take over. She's not easy. Once in the game, the tuna is in trouble, but she did not quickly pull the tuna on board. Fishing has been going on for 40 minutes. Marissa observes the tuna clearly showing signs of fatigue. I wonder if they'll be able to take this opportunity. Tyler picked up the harpoon nearby. Go for the tuna. Marissa quickly tied the rope. This fish looks big. I'm sure many people are as curious as I am. Why do they always stick harpoons in fish heads? Because it maximizes revenue. After all, other parts can fetch a good price. The tuna was measured to be 2 meters long. The Windmill returned to port at daybreak. Wonder how much money this fish brings in. After all, it's their first fish of the week. If the returns are not high, the situation is not good. The final tuna weighed 248 pounds and 112 kilograms. Fish of fine quality. It feels greasy and evenly distributed. Good core color and no burn marks. The market price is $18 a pound. But unfortunately, the weight is a little insufficient. They ended up earning just $4,464. The hard commodity now reached a new fishing spot. And he also offered his own secret, the fried meat in this pan. Every time he cooks this dish, the tuna will arrive as expected and take the initiative to bite the hook. I have to say the world is full of mystery. Just finished enjoying this pot of meat. There is a tuna bite, ushered in today's harvest. But whether this is really tuna is unclear. After all, I was mistaken for tuna yesterday. It was a shark that took the bite. Jason ran to the bow with his rod in hand. Looks like this is a tuna. Otherwise, it wouldn't have gone so fast. Sharks usually swim from side to side, but there are still risks on the bow. Marsha quickly stepped forward to assist. Take the rod and fix it to the deck. Jason jumped down. A fierce confrontation with the tuna begins. However, the operation is a little inconvenient. After putting on one side of the harness, Jason is starting to show his mastery. Spread and bend your legs to steady the horse. Fight the tuna. The battle took a long time. After an hour of fierce fighting, to pull the tuna closer to the surface. I see the target approaching. Jason is pushing again. Marsha also swings his harpoon in with precision. When the tuna is controlled to the boat, Marsha quickly tied the rope around the fish's tail. Looks like the old man's experience really did help. As the tuna cools down, it took 3 men to pull it up to the deck. The fish measured 1.87 meters long, just above the arrest threshold. Their luck is strange. This is the second fish to approach the minimum standard. The 3 return to port. Start selling the 11th fish. After removing the useless parts, the tuna still weighs 167 pounds and 75 kilograms, although slightly smaller, but excellent in every way, rich in fat and bright in color. The core part has good transparency. All that is condensed is the essence. The buyer is willing to pay $17 a pound. They earn $2,839. 3 are expected to compete for the title this season. With the end of the day, leaderboard refreshed again. The Flight of Time once again leads the way for first place. Well, that's all for this program. Give it a thumbs up, and let's look forward to the next episode.